everybody, and warm welcome to my channel, Tarot by Izabela. I hope you're all doing great, and I'm very happy to see you here. Today's video will be a video about scare events. And many of you have probably heard that there are some big incoming scare events. And with that meaning something very dramatic, very scary is about to happen to wake people up, some kind of near-death experience, of something. And nobody really knows what this scare event could be. And if there will be any scare event, that is also a question mark there. And today I will look into that, about scare events. If I can get some information about scare events. What kind, when, how we can expect it. I will look into that. And to do so, I will use my crystal ball. And today I will use my Obsidian crystal ball. And Obsidian is a very good a material to use when you want to clean something from negative energy. It draws in negative energy, cleanses it, and restore a little bit balance when it's too much negativity. And it's also a very protective stone. Well, obsidian is not really a stone, it's vulcanized glass. So obsidian is created when lava comes down a volcano and touches sand and melted that sand to black glass lumps of black glass, and that is obsidian. Anyway, I will also use my tarot cards, oracle cards, and some dice. But before we begin, I need to thank you all wonderful viewers for all of your support to this channel, for all of your mails, for your comments, for your sharing, caring, coffees. Everything you do helps to continue doing more videos. And without your support, it would not be possible for me to get the inspiration and the strength to do more videos. So I'm very, very grateful to you. And also a little scam warning to all of you out there. Please be aware that there are scammers out there pretending to be me, sending emails in my name, maybe have a Facebook account saying they do readings and so on, and they use my profile photo, and this is not me. All these are scammers. I never contact you first. I don't promote anything, I don't sell anything, and I don't do personal readings. So if you should meet someone that does that, block, ban, report, or do whatever you want. At least be sure it's not me. So it's a big possibility you will get scammed. And the correct email address to me, you will find it down in the description. You will also find the link to my backup channel on Rumble, and also the correct link to the Telegram group. And for all of you in the Telegram group, please be aware we post everything in English. And that is for respect for all of the other members, since we are people from all around the world and English is an international language. So the post must be in English. And if you post something that is not in English, that cannot be translated, please at least have a short description in the title what the post is about. And regarding videos on the Telegram group, be sure that the video at least have an English subtitle or English speech. And that is so everyone can understand what kind of information you would like to share. And on this Telegram group, we chat to each other, we give each other tips, different kind of things, update each other with the news all around the world. So it's not really a chat when I always only do predictions. No, sometimes I can draw some cards on a question, but you will also find me there. What's more, if you should get contact here in the comment section by someone that pretends to be me using my profile number photo, be sure that it's the right ID, YouTube ID, and my YouTube ID is Tarot by Izabela 209. If that person should not have that YouTube ID, then it's not me, and it's likely you can get scammed. So be aware. We must all be aware because we live in very strange times at the moment, and it seems like all the dark creatures, all the scammers and the sleazy beings are awakened and trying to really do as much damage as they can before they get erased. But if we are aware, we can avoid a lot of problems. So, about those scare events. I will need to concentrate for a few moments on my crystal ball and ask the powers, the forces to be with us. So hopefully we can get some inside so-called information on what those scare events could be about. And after the crystal ball, I will take some cards to see if there are any complementary information to be said. So please just give me a few seconds and soon we start. For the scare events. Yeah, glasses on, and let's see if we can find something. The scare event must feel real, be as real as possible. And here I see a big building fall down. And it's a famous building. I cannot see exactly where it is, but it's a very tall, very famous building that will be taken down. I see a big explosion and it falls down. That could trigger other events that could lead up to a very, very dangerous situation regarding world peace. That this taking down of this building could be some kind of like a snowball that rolls down a mountain. It gets bigger, bigger, bigger effect, and like country after country is gearing up with for the military, preparing to war. But I don't see a global war. I don't see nuclear weapons dropping on people and towns and so on. But it will be like balloon getting bigger, bigger, and almost ready to explode. And then the air goes out from the balloon and it's gone. And some very, very unpleasant situation. The evil ones will not give up without the last fight. and they will try to do as much damage as they can before they get totally eliminated. I see here some kind of metro station, and I see bombs on the track, so it's some kind of metro that will be blown up. And this is in a Western country, because how the metro station looks like, how, with graffiti, with this, with that, it's not really so pretty and well taken care of. So some kind of metro rails will be sabotaged. Could be in the UK, could be in US. So one of those two countries. Could even be a smaller accident or something in France. Another scare event, because I see it could be a couple of them, and it's not like they will satisfy with only one. And I see one more coming in, and that is an attack from outer space. And that is not like non-terrestrial attack. No, it's more like asteroids, or a big rock is coming in, or we are close to, vaporize in a big asteroid, something like that. And it seems like, oh, we have the proof here, something is out of course, is closing on to Earth. We may not be so lucky to avoid this attack, and there could be some rocks that are falling down, but I don't see the Earth being hit by a big asteroid, but it will be talked about. A new volcano. I don't know what it has to do with the scare event. It's like some volcano will start in a very cold area in Russia. So I see an explosion and a lot of ash up in the atmosphere, and this ash could make it very difficult for airplanes to fly around a big area. So there could be a lot of flights that will not be able to go up in the air because of that. Those scares event, or if it's a bomb on a track or a big building falling down, famous building, I will take some cards on that later. If it is the so-called good guys or the bad guys that are doing these events. Another scare event, because I see a couple of them, it's like they're gathering together, a couple of those scare events almost at the same time, or one after another. It's like boom, if you don't wake up with this, you wake up with this, or you wake up with this. I cannot see exactly in what order they come, if this one comes first or the other one, but I see a couple of those scare events. And one is people trying to get money out of their account, and their accounts are on zero. No money in the account. And that is, if not a real scare event. And that zero that there is no money. I see it last could be 3 days, could be 3 weeks, not 3 months, up to like 3 weeks. And then it's regulated, and the amount that was on the account will be like doubled or tripled. Yeah, so it will come extra money in. But still, it will be extremely scary for the majority of people that have bank accounts and that have some money saved or a little money, if there is, a lot of money, if the account is on zero. When? I cannot see when. Unfortunately, time is very difficult, but I see it quite close in time. When it feels close, when I feel the fear on the people watching, seeing their account on zero. Could be within a couple of weeks, couple of months, something like that. Another scare event, and that is, depending on which side you stand on, you can call it, 3 big political leaders that are very famous for corruption, very strange associations, strange business deals, and they like very young persons. Those 3 very famous politicians will be taken down behind bar or even executed almost at the same time. And this will also be like a big scare event. It will be very shocking for many. What now? What now? What happens now? Will it be civil war? People will get, very, very confused, very, frustrated. Both in France and in the US, will be on the border to civil war. I don't see a complete civil war, but very close, until it can be calmed down so that people don't have the need to, take the weapons and make their own justice. In a big city in Germany, I don't know if it's called scare event, some big problem with the drinking water. Could be some toxic spill in the drinking water, and it will be over 1 million people affected, and they will not be allowed to drink the water. And authorities will be driving out big trucks with drinking water. And even if you boil it, it will not help, because the toxin is not from bacteria or viruses, it's a different kind. So you need some kind of chemical filter, whatever, to take away that in the water. And that will be very uncomfortable for many. But luckily, it will be discovered quite quickly, so that a lot of suffering can be avoided. But the main thing I see here is like Many countries all around the world are preparing for war. It's like they have the soldiers on the street ready to go out on a given signal. People will have their heart here. What will happen? What will happen? But I don't see a world war in that sense with weapons and bombs. We are already in this kind of situation, but it's more an information war. But kinetic war, conflicts between different countries have been going on for ages, but not this global world war scenario. I don't see it. Very close to it, but I don't see it explode into it. Since I see the front page on newspaper, war, so people's gonna get quite scared. I can only recommend take it easy, don't panic, don't rush out to get killed. This is to shake the population up. I don't see, big bombs dropping here and there. It could be in some places some explosion, but I don't. That is more to provoke the war. And from the evil side, they want the war. But it will be calmed down. I must mention this because I see it very, very clearly. I see big shipping containers, and this is a European country, Northern Europe, not Southern Europe like Italy and Spain. No, it's more northern parts. There will be a big rescue mission for people trapped in those containers, trafficked in those containers, women, little ones. And I see special like SWAT teams, military, with night vision goggles and weapons, and they are really clearing that out. And I see, women with young children running for their lives, and a soldier trying to protect them, cleaning out that area. And those who are trafficking, those people, they will try to defend their investment and try to fight back. So it will be a little bit like a war zone. But many women and many little ones will be saved. Yeah, and I see it's like they have gathered many containers and they are filled with people. And very horrible things are coming out soon about organ harvesting and human trafficking in places that people didn't think they existed, at least not according to the mainstream. This will be acknowledged officially. And that is also very mind-blowing, the depth of cruelty that has been committed against humanity, especially with the little ones. And it's so extremely deep. And it's so extremely horrifying evil that people can hardly imagine that such evil can exist. Yeah. This will be also a kind of scare event, but not scare event to scare the people, but really it's time humanity will know the truth. Okay, that was a little bit what I could see about the scare events. Now I will take some cards to see if we can get some additional information. But first, I will take some cards on the question, who will stand behind the big building that will collapse or the bombs in a metro station? Sorry. Is it the good guys or the bad guys? Who is behind those attacks? Who is behind those attacks on the famous building and metro stations? Okay. I need something more. Here in the tarot cards we have 2 of Cups, 10 of Cups, 6 of Cups, 9 of Coins, the Emperor, the Tower, Queen of Coins, and the Magician. For me, even if those cards are positive, I still don't see that is made by the good guys. The Emperor, for me, is someone in leading position. Could be politician on very high position, like a president or a minister, or it could also be a very high position in a big corporation. Someone very, very high who has a lot of influence. And if you gives the appearance of being a family person, a loving and caring person, a generous person, the appearance of that. We have the Magician. So it's like it's putting a spell on the people. Please believe me, I'm such a good person, or this or that. And they are hiding behind a mask of goodness. And there's someone in a very high position that has ordered this. And this is the Tower. So they have ordered the attacks. So it's like wolf in sheep clothing. The person, or the persons, because there are more than one, will be caught and judged. We have the judgment. And it will be successful. So whatever they have been behind, they will be charged for it. And we'll have to move away, off our way to a closed place. So according to the cards, those behind the attacks will be like, will look like good guys, but they are good guys, bad guys disguised as good guys. Not to wake suspicion, but still they will be found and caught and put into justice. Now I'm gonna take some cards on those scare events, if they will cause a lot of death and suffering for us normal people. Okay, here we have 7 of swords, 7 of coins, the magician again, the strength, and the judgment. I don't see extreme death and suffering and pain. Of course, people can get hurt in everyday life, but I don't see many victims in those scare events. There will, though, be a lot of worries, depression, a lot of fear of getting poor, fear of losing stuff. And here we have the magician in the center again. But I also see a lot of those so-called scare events are illusions. They're maybe not for real, but they appear as very real. One aspect of those scare events will be judgment or tribunals. Very strong tribunals. Justice that are shown officially, but real justice, not paid for justice. And that could also be very scary for many, that this person is gone, this and that and that. That is very scary in itself. Okay, now I'm going to take the last cards for this video, scare events, and that will be, the whole reading with oracle cards and dice and so on. If there is some more information to be said about those scare events. And finally, some dice. One blank one, I need another one. Okay. The cards, they look like this. Now let's see what we got in the cards. In the tarot cards, we have 9 of Swords, the Hermit, 2 of Wands, King of Wands, the High Priestess. And on the oracle cards, we have Whip and Fire, Open Your Heart to Love, Misfortune. And on the Major Arcana card, we have again the Hermit. And on the dice, we have a Gift, Watching, Magical Wand, and my work life. Yeah, what to say about those cards? Many people will feel that they are punished by this scare event. It will feel like misfortune and horrible things are coming upon them. It will be a time to open your heart to love, to share, to help each other, awaken abilities and awaken things within our heart and soul that has been oppressed for such a long time. Here you have the gift to learn to give again. And during these so-called scare events, a lot of hidden things will be exposed. We have the High Priestess, secrets, and the Ermite, also secrets, very old secrets, hidden knowledge that will be exposed during these so-called scare events. And that in itself can be very, very scary, that you have been lied to for so long time, and what the real truth is about our world and our history and things like that. But still, it will be a period of tests. And it's also, I get a strong feeling, it's some kind of pressure to push the evil persons or evil beings out to the open so they can be dealt with. But during those days or those periods where those so-called scare events occur, will be given tools, and people will work to help those in need, so that so-called scare event will not do so much damage. I also get a strong feeling there is some kind of scare event that is planned since long time ago by good people, but it's not a scare event involving death and destruction of property and people, like, big explosion and a lot of people dying. No, it's a different kind of scare event that the so-called good guys are behind. Those scare events where a lot of people could get hurt. It's not it doesn't mean that they will get hurt. Could get hurt are the evil ones. But the main theme here is hidden knowledge. And that is also a big scare event. Yeah. Imagine if you have thought that this is right and this is wrong and that is how things are, and it's totally demolished, and your whole world will be demolished, and you will feel very lost. And that is very, very, very scary. And then the other side of humanity will awaken. Open your heart to love, to sharing and caring. The comforting thing I can say in this about those scare events is that help will be there for those who need it. That the population around the planet will not be left totally clueless and without any support until things have calmed down and the creation of a new world can start. So there could be different kind of scare event. Someone that the evil ones want to have, but that is including a lot of destruction. But I see that what they want to make will probably be stopped before it can do any big damage. At least it's how it looks. I don't see a lot of death and destruction. I don't do that. And whatever is happening in the Middle East is not a scare event. That is something totally different, and it's very evil forces behind that. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm gonna take 3 last cards. If there are 3 last words, not 3 last words, if there are some last words to be said about the scare events. This card jumped out. It's the Star. So, yeah, the knowledge that we are not alone here, that there are life from other solar system, of Earth life, non-terrestrial life, and also maybe extraterrestrial life, that could be quite scary in itself when that comes out. And that is also part of the scare events. Hidden history. Some last cards for this reading. I took 5, not 3. Here we have Knight of Coins, the High Priest, 4 of Wands, 2 of Coins, and 3 of Cups. And it looks like a lot of world religions will have to move, will have to change their way, because also the hidden history of the world's religions will be revealed, and that will come into balance, and that will be deliberating for many, many people. So whatever those scare events are producing, at the end, when all this confusion will be over, because it will be balanced up, 2 of Coins, it will lead to celebration, to happy times, to freedom. You can release the burdens of thousands of years of lies and corruption, and you can begin to live freely as sovereign human beings, not controlled by some evil forces. Well, that was my reading for the scare events. And if you have liked what you have seen and heard, please don't forget to press like button, share button, and subscription button. And to all of you wonderful viewers out there, take care, be strong. Even if things could look very scary, just don't panic, don't rush in. Try to stay calm and focused, and eventually things will clear up, and those scare events will not be so scary anymore. And to all of you out there, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully we're gonna see each other soon again. Bye bye.